So let's go through the numbers with my colleague Tom Connell. Tom, first of all, take us through some of the New South Wales specific data here that's been broken down into postcodes for the first time.
Yeah, the first state to do this, so to get really granular, if you like, on some of this detail, it does make for interesting reading when you do look at this. So some of the postcodes that are doing quite well, if you like, and we are always going to say that caveat that you never know what sort of access people get. But in terms of these postcodes, we're talking Berkshire Park, 90%, Edmondson Park as well, 80 to 90%, and Bowral, of course, in the south of New South Wales at 70, 79%. These are first dose numbers, and these two are talking about Sydney areas, including in the west of Sydney, and this is, as I mentioned, in southern New South Wales. Some of the areas not doing so well, though, so far, lagging. Again, this is first dose data. Silverwater in the west of Sydney, 10 to 19%. Very low there. Chatswood in the north, 20 to 29% there. So that's quite low when you think of first data across the nation is nearly 50% average. And first dose Byron Bay, look, it's not very low, but 30 to 39%, not all that high as well, considering when you're looking at Byron Bay, you've had outbreaks in the past, and you'd think, Kieran, it's some incentive to go out there and get vaccinated.
Yeah, indeed. And for the west of the city, it's been a case of lockdowns, hasn't it? Obviously providing the incentive here to get the jab.
This time we're looking at national data so that the federal government has provided us, but the bigger regions, it still tells a very good story. These are the top 4 areas by percentage increase. Blacktown in the west of Sydney, 13.8% up at 53.6%. Again, first doses. Southwest of Sydney, 13.5%. Inner southwest of Sydney as well, on the outer west. So all Sydney areas in and around these clusters going up the most. Clearly, the biggest incentive for Australians recently has been these outbreaks. When we're looking at those areas still struggling, it also tells a story that probably won't surprise people all that much. Ipswich in Queensland, maybe a bit of a surprise, but Queensland is a bit of a laggard along with WA, 5.5% up. But look at the others. 2 Perth areas represented. Again, they're relatively low overall numbers, well below the national average of close to 50% there. 38.7, and also going up by the slowest amount. So Perth, clearly a bit of a concern. And the WA outback, look, this tells more the story that the regions are going to get the jabs and the higher levels in many cases last. That is going to be a concern when you talk about Indigenous populations as well. So the WA outback going very slowly and from a low base as well.
Tom, let's look at the broader outlook. Some states and territories surging, some clearly languishing at the moment.
Yeah, and again, this might tell a story of incentive to go out and get vaccinated. So let's run through some states, if we're hoping we can bring them up there. Here we go, New South Wales. So first dose, over 50%, second dose at 27%. So that's New South Wales. Again, this is where we're seeing outbreaks, and you can see the number of doses that are going out there. We will look at the rest of the states as well. It's ACT and Victoria where we are seeing so far. So here's ACT, very high first dose, pretty high second dose as well, and well above the national average. We're seeing an outbreak in the ACT. It will be able to get up pretty quickly. Victoria, out of all the outbreak states, it's actually not going as well as the others. So 48.12 and 26.68, the first and second doses on Victoria. And when you look at laggards overall as well, when we take into account WA, have a look at this, 42.71 first dose and 23.81 on a second dose. So well behind those outbreak states. They have had a bit of a blitz over there. We'll see if that does pick up the numbers. On a national rating, it is encouraging that Australia is starting to increase its pace, of course. We've heard the Prime Minister talk about this so much. 48.75 and 26.88 are the 2 figures there. So we'll keep reporting as these go up and focus on different areas, Kieran, as we'll see pockets, we'll see communities, we'll see states and regions and so on go at different paces. And that's where the government will have to begin to focus various campaigns to make sure the whole nation, remember, needs to get up to that 70 and the 80, as well as each and every state and territory.
Tom, appreciate that. Thank you very much for the analysis.